Since the 1800s, the United States and the world have been pestered with one of the most intriguing and most ridiculous questions of our time. Is a tomato a fruit or a vegetable? It's got to be one or the other, right? I think it's about time we answer that age-old question. So why is this at all important, let alone a mystery worth solving? You'd think it'd never matter whether a tomato is a fruit, a vegetable, a grain, or a flavor of ice cream. Gross. But in the 19th century, tomatoes were considered vegetables, which were subject to a 10% import tax. Eventually, the time came when a fruit importer argued that his tomatoes were fruits, in order to avoid them from being taxed. This mess ended up being taken to the Supreme Court, and because tomatoes were commonly used as a dinner essential rather than a dessert, like fruits are, the court ruled that tomatoes are vegetables. So is that it? Because we put tomatoes in soup but not in ice cream, does that decide the fate of our red culinary companion? In order to figure this out, we'll need to look at three things: its growth, its reproduction, and its nutritional value. And for that, we're gonna have to go to sunny South Florida. There's this place called Southwest Ranches, a town known for its agriculture and farmlands, and in this town, we visited the Florida Nursery Mart. They grow everything from spices to herbs to palm trees. They also have this cool cat. And so the crew and I set off on the search for truth in the poor identity crisis that is the tomato.
So we're here in the fruit section of this nursery, and we found everything from lemons to mangoes and oranges, but we haven't seen any tomatoes. So we're here to find out who really considers a tomato a fruit.
So botanically speaking, a fruit develops from the ovary of a flowering plant, whereas vegetables are found growing from all other plant parts, like roots, leaves, and stems, for instance. It gets weird when we look at berries, because they also develop from the ovaries and have their own flesh. But it gets even weirder, because this means that watermelons are berries, bananas are berries, pumpkins are berries, and tomatoes are berries. I mean, it makes sense. They're grown the same, they have the same flesh, but what about how they reproduce? The seeds play a big role in distinguishing a vegetable from fruits and berries. We spoke to Phil from the nursery, and he was able to give us some insight as to how these plants disperse.
A lot of times fruit make it easier to disperse their seed. That makes reproduction easier.
Phil explained to us that the very main distinction between fruits and vegetables are the seeds. Vegetables don't have seeds because they are simply byproducts of the plant, while fruits are literally ripened reproductive systems of the plant. So, cucumbers, fruit, avocados, fruit, olives, fruit, corn, fruit, peppers, fruit, and tomatoes are fruits. All in all, scientifically, a tomato is a fruit. But let's bring it back to where we first started. We don't have any tomato-flavored ice cream now, do we? Fruits are recognized all over the world for their sweetness and sugars. Depending on the fruit, sugar levels vary based on the plant itself. Your typical small apple contains about 20 grams of sugar. That's half of a can of Coke. Tomatoes, on the other hand, hold only 3 grams. But the sweetness doesn't solely speak for the nutritional content of the fruit. But compared to vegetables, many fruits, including tomatoes, also hold some incredible antioxidants like polyphenolic flavonoids and anthocyanins, which aid us in fighting diseases while at the same time boosting our immunity. That's why we're encouraged to drink orange juice when we're sick. So there isn't really much of a difference when it comes to the nutritional content of these fruits, but they do have their unique distinctions, of course. So it all comes down to two things: the practical and botanical classifications of this little red ball of confusion. Although known for its savory uses in the kitchen, tomatoes are the fruit or the reproductive product of the plant. With that said, you may have had tomato soup sometime in your life, but let us know in the comments if you'd ever try tomato ice cream. I know. Ew. As always, remember to hit the like button below, subscribe to our channel at youtube.com/thestemseries, and tune into Spinnaker Television for future episodes. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on The STEM.